to play against a lineup that can get in your face very easily. Invokers really don't like that. There we go.
And they take it. I mean, we've been saying it all draft. I mean, you've got to think EG, they must have known this was going to happen. So they must feel that they've got a plan to deal with SCCC's Invoker this time round. And with this final pick, maybe it all comes apparent what the game plan is from EG. But they got to be a little bit... You've got to really appreciate the power of SC Invoker after the performance he's given us.
Yeah, he played a phenomenal game on it the other day, no question. But it's also important to note again, like Newbee are picking it in a position where it's good. Like, there are some times when you pick a hero in the beginning of the draft and you get mega countered, and EG going with the... Is this a Zai Warlock?
I'm interested to see who's picking up who. Yeah. It is the Zai Warlock coming out, and indeed the rest of the side, Sumail, Mirana, Universe, Void, Arteezy, Ranger, and indeed over the side of Newbee. It's the roles that we expected, but this is certainly a way to open up the finals here. Game 1 of this best of 5 between Evil Geniuses and Newbee. I mean, I've got to ask you, Andy, I feel that you're probably going to say you maybe prefer Newbee's lineup, or do you see a clear kind of advantage from EG's run?
I think that the one cool thing about Warlock here is the interaction between Fatal Bonds and having Mirana Eggs. Just how much damage that's actually going to deal during a team fight if you land a good chrono. And not to mention being able to like channel upheaval from ridiculous distances and utilize that slow during fights. Because if you think about it, nobody on the side of Newbee has any sort of escape mechanism. So if they overcommit to a fight against a Warlock who has like upheaval Fatal Bonds and they eat some AoE from the Sumail's Mirana, it can be pretty devastating amounts of damage. But yeah, I do kind of favor what Newbee are doing a little bit more. I think that playing the Void and the Mirana into the Shadow Demon, you know, if Faith is on point, we've seen how difficult it can be for a Void to really function against this type of team. It's Universe Void, so if anybody's going to be able to make it happen, it'll be him.
Yeah, that really is the thing, yeah. It is Universe, and we'll see if he's able to pull it off with the big Chronos as the game goes on. So, I mean, yeah, talk to me more about the decision to go for the Warlock here. What EG are hoping to do with this specific pick? Like, Zai, is he going to be moving around the map? Is he looking to babysit at the start?
I think there's a couple of things that's really cool about it. He's actually really strong in lane because he has good starting damage. He's basically going to have the precision aura as well. Shadow Word Kill is very, very good in our game, and it costs like no mana. It's like 90 mana at level 1. That's pretty much nothing. He can pretty much harass. He can lane support. It's not that the hero is necessarily super weak in lane, it's that most of his abilities have a very long cooldown, so you need to use them and get value every single time. That's why the hero is so difficult to utilize. But there's also another part where, if you have Chaotic Offering, it's a great way to disengage from fights that you don't want to take, and it's also a great way to start a fight or set up for things like, you know, because the stun of the Chaotic Off now isn't longer than it used to be, so it's a full second. And you can drop it, get a nice chrono on top of it, and like I mentioned, the Fatal Bonds interaction with Sumail's Aghanim's in the game. You're going to be having to buy BKDs on Newbee if you don't want to just explode to that sort of damage output. So it kind of solves one of the other issues where I thought that they were going to pick Tide. That gives him that disengage and gives him that team fight potential, but in a support role instead of an offlane.
And the question is, though, obviously support Warlock, is it going to be strong enough to help EG deal with this aggressive tri-lane? Because Newbee, they're coming down on the bottom with Unine on the Luna, Shaka on the Lina, and Faith on the Shadow Demons. They want to contest Arteezy's farm. I mean, how well can EG deal with this? Or is this just going to be a pretty rock-hard lane for Artur?
I mean, it's not going to be super easy, especially when Newbee get a couple of levels. So at level 1, I think they're actually okay, but you can tell that they're still kind of scared. They don't really want to try to engage if they don't have to. They're just waiting for the creep wave to push up. But yeah, as Newbee get levels, this is going to become more and more difficult. Level 2, you're going to have, you know, potential Shadow Poison. You're going to have Kaka's second spell, whether it be Dragon Slave or Light Strike Ray. And that's the kill. So need to be very, very cautious.
The other lanes at the moment, Sumail in the mid, 4-2 against the 1-for-1. We saw him put a heavy bit of harassment down on SC as well. So Sumail off to a good start. Indeed, that extra bit of a damage from the precision aura certainly helping him out during this early laning stage. And finally up towards the top, Universe. The Void versus the Axe lane. I mean, obviously kind of as a staple, Axe good against melee, but a Void, he can stand up against an Axe.
I still think KP is going to have an advantage. It's just really, really difficult to abuse things like creep aggro in this type of lane because, as you just saw there, he's going to take spins every time he does. And Time Walk has an extremely long cooldown at low levels, so you're not going to be able to utilize it every single time if he wants to play aggressive.
We'll see. Okay, he gets himself to Bruno. He is going to be able to find himself a haste. Hasn't quite got level 2. Goodbye haste. His crit purges it off very quickly. And the CS at the moment for the two.
Oh, wait, can we just talk about how Sumail is 12 and 4 right now?
He is continuing to dominate this lane. Yeah, at the start he was in there punching, and this is
He literally hit every single creep on the first 2 waves. That's insane.
He certainly is having a good time.
He wants revenge, man.
He does Sumail. Back for another round against SC's Invoker. And we'll see if it goes a little bit better than previous experiences. CS for both Universe and KP, 11 for 8 for 0. So as you said, KP's got the edge, but Universe is still finding something from that top lane. And bottom, RTZ 9 for 3, and U9 9 for 4. So both teams getting pretty much equal trades down there on the tri lane. No one feeling the pressure too hard. I mean, is this good enough for Newbee, or when they run a tri lane like this, do they need to be coming out on top of Artor's farm and need to be finding kills?
I think we'll want to be getting a little bit more. I think win this lane harder than, trading slightly better farm. But it's kind of difficult, when you're playing against 2 supports like Oracle and Warlock, because they're both going at heals, and you can even see right now that Crit's holding onto a skill point. So if somebody gets disrupted, he can Fate's Edict them after they come out of disruption, and there will be like no magic damage output, which is a lot of the kill potential that Newbee have on this lane. And alternatively, if they want to get a kill, he can just go Purifying Flames and go bursts. So all things considered, I think that EG are probably fine with this for now, because we've seen Drowse in the past get completely shut down at lane and still be able to offer a tremendous amount of damage just by virtue of having the precision aura and the marksmanship. So I think for now it's okay.
Alright, we'll see as Kaka. Let's see if it makes any kind of movement towards mid. Andy, your mic is crackling a little bit. I don't know if there's anything you can do.
Let me I'll unplug it, plug it back in.
Yeah, that will fix it, Andy. A little bit of I go there on the bottom as Brit. As looks towards the support, still trying to find out. Kaka has an arcane route. So now would be a really nice time for Newbee to try and make it go. Level 3 on Faith as well. If they find a disruption, can certainly do something pretty nice about this. Towards the mid, Sumail still leading 25 for 4 against SC's 19 for 7. And SC starts to catch up, but it definitely is Sumail in the driver's seat. It's easy, keeping just about on par with 9 as it really is a battle of the supports. Both of them really sending it out, doing their best to create space for their hard carries. Sumail actually relatively low in the mid, and they brought Universe across. And Universe TPing and maybe hoping that the SC would be tempted by Sumail's low health, but that isn't going to be the case, and Universe just have to make the long walk back towards the top lane, not finding a chance to drop the chrono mid. Oh, you did it, Andy. I think that is better. What did you do? Oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. Right, let me just put you back up. There we go. Much nicer. Anyway, Andy, it's 5.5 minutes in. No one yet to die. It's pretty tame at the moment.
Denied.
Yeah. I mean, we did see, of course, Universe, he did look towards mid with the chrono. I mean, he's kind of going back and forth between the top and the bottom. I mean, if he sees an opening down on the bottom lane and he turn around a bit of aggression, they could take down a few members of Newbee. So I think, Newbee are aware of this and actually kind of splitting up a little bit more around the map. Kaka's headed towards mid with SC. And Sumail. Can he follow through? He wants to. Oh, so close. He has to play it safe though. I mean, SC was low as well. That was very, very close. but still nonetheless, Samel just getting so much farm in this mid lane. 4 TCS at 7 minutes in. Of course, the top of the board at the moment is KP. He's using the aggro very nice and just nearly on 50 CS. So this is going to be quick timings for Axe. You know, he's already got the Vanguard, and he'll start to work towards that Blink Dagger. So we can expect KP to have the start for the potential to have real big impact this game, as he looks to get very good item timings. A couple of smokes picked up by Kaka. We'll see if they can try and get in position to do something. Faith already moving towards the mid lane. I mean, if they can get a kill onto Samel, then that'd be great, because he is having the better time compared to SC. SC backing off, using the Forge Spirits to farm some of the jungle a little bit safer. And whilst this all goes on, RTZ getting more space down on the bottom lane, and now keeping himself ahead of the farm of U9 on the Luna.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This looks to be a first blood, unless he can get the Roshan deny. He's going to try for it, but the stun Rosh, yeah, that's going to do it. Make sure that Rosh doesn't get the final touch in his eye, the one to behind first blood.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be ridiculous amounts of farm for KP, I imagine. He is, yeah, he's right up there next to Samel on net worth at this moment in time. The Universe wants to use the Chrono, and U9, he's on his own down top lane. Crit's going to turn as well, and I don't think U9 can get his way out of this one. He needs backup, and he needs it fast. SD's coming along, but it's too late. It's EG able to take down the Luna. I mean, we obviously saw U9 being moved to that top lane, left on his own, and EG quick to punish. And Universe's first Chrono, very successful.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And that Blink is certainly going to come out soon, as we're mentioning, with the farm that KP's getting. And then the question, yeah. He had a crazy link. And this is something that we're kind of getting used to, actually, to see. I mean, this seems to be the play pretty much every Axe game now, doesn't it? You always have your Ancient stacks, you always get Vanguard first. You know, there's never that kind of differentiation before getting the Blink or getting the Vanguard, because you can do it at that speed. And then with those two items at a decent time, and you're jumping into these heroes of EG, and I mean, you've got to be careful, because EG, they do have magical bursts, you know, a few Purifying Flames from Crit and the Starfall, and an arrow from Samel, and you can still go down on the Axe. So Vanguard by no means is going to guarantee his survival. But if he can get a good jump, it's dangerous. Yeah. No, that's crazy. Now's the real test, though. You know, he's found the items. Can he get something big done with them? They've got their eyes down towards the bottom lane by the looks of it. Only Zai here at the moment. RTZ's moved elsewhere. Now with the lifesteal, just clearing up some Ancients himself. Obviously in the safety of his own half of the map, so unlikely that they're going to be able to find him. Nice group up though from Newbee, with KP, Faye and Kaka looking towards the mid lane. Jump onto Samel, could be good. Samel has got to be careful. Got the vision, but Samel backing up. They know something fishy's going on. And now with the smoke, this is going to be the test for Newbee. Can they get a good Blink reveal? Oh, indeed they did. So Samael, yeah, unlikely to be caught out. In fact, EG want to go to counterplay. Universe, he's got the chrono, jumps up, now he drops, he gets the 2 supports, but KP did the 3-man call. SC turns along, Zai drops the golem down, they're forcing back SC, Axe on the back of it, looking for Artur. Now they turn around, start to play with KP, Crit, Universe and RTs are going to bully him back. They've already lost the lean on the sidelines. There's a second death on the side of Newbee. Base Raylo as well, he has to get himself from the golem. Very, very nice reaction there from EG, as you said, scanning out that first smoke from Newbee, getting in position to turn it around. Chrono from Universe, I mean, it's not getting the kill, you're holding those 2 supports back, and you're holding back that Shadow Demon, the hero that we've seen time and again save the person that the enemy's going on, and EG able to find 2 kills from it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Newbee wants to be thrown off, though. Looks like they are going to try and move over. Can't get anyone in the jungle. I mean, for the time being, it's taking control of EG's jungle, but EG in turn, they'll simply move over to Newbee's half of the map. And Zai putting the pressure in on to the top lane. And looking to work towards the Midas here on this poor Warlock, so he can get those big items out, the ag, and avenge that pressure. I'll see if Newbee want to think about a moment. Maybe hanging around mid lane. I hope they can kind of find a big hit. Camps have already been cleared out, and essentially this time wasted for Newbee. And EG, they'll look to get a tower out of this space. And Samael coming back towards the mid with an Invis ring. I'll see if he goes for some kind of cheeky solo play on 39. There's no Eclipse. Especially with the back being revealed. Samael just keeping eyes on this. And yeah, EG, they'll finish off the tower top, so tier 1's out. And see if they want to try and fight this. Line's being drawn. Question is if they can get there in. They do have a fortification at EG, and indeed T2, they want to fight. Universe is the chrono. As the enemies come out, accidentally whiffed by Samael, and if anything, just scares Newbee off. So TP's back, they keep the tower alive, but they're unable to potentially find the fight that they would have hoped to look for. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Universe pick up the top, nearly hitting the left. Hands and Vlad, still good in timing here for the Void. And in fact the rest of EG moving in, so really wanting to fight as 5, yeah. Especially with Zach, that's got the golem back down. So EG are in a very good position to take a 5-man. Samael kind of on the front, being a bit of the bait. You know, Universe just heads back to get the last bit of equity to push him over to level 11. And we'll see if Newbee want to wreck this time. Maybe they're just going to look for the trap themselves. Especially with the pushing power of SC, they can take towers fast, and the tier 2 down bottom is gone. More money in the bank for SC. Fortification will come out from Newbee, but not back in time to bet. Chief on the trade. Just going down those stars of the map. The enemy wants to try and capitalize and make more of this. SC, U9 move into the pit. He looks to try and just pressure Newbee to back off and defend. As Arteezy, he's starting to hit onto tier 3s here. Yeah, just put out. a very, very good game here from EG and from Newbee as well. Just 4-0 at 17 minutes. I mean, it kind of feels that is going to hurt Newbee is the fact that, you know, they got that good timing on KP's Blink and Vanguard, but as of yet, he's not been able to do anything with it. He's resort active, so they don't really have that kind of peak potential. You know, hits hard and catches EG off. That's EG, they're kind of in the most of that. Taking top, taking 1 minute, take 4. They may be ready to move in for more again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Allies disappear.
The Universe is going to find Kaka a little bit. In fact, KP kind of next to him as well. There's the golem, but the chrono doesn't catch Kaka, but he gets KP alive. Not easy to beat there. Yes, now quick to finish off. EG with 2 swift kill, 2 as well. The push will continue. At this stage, they don't have the crow, but they managed to force out back from that. He's down to 30 seconds, and EG's push with the crow is going to be pretty fast.
Dire structures are fortified.
Cuts on you!
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, buyback forced out P, but EG getting everything that they wanted was pushed. And the only thing kind of stopping between them and going for a full high ground assault is the tier 2 Newbee. They need to fight, they need to strike hard, but again, it's been scanned out, Andy. These scans from EG give that man a backbang. Both times, these kind of crucial smokes, both the times that Newbee needs to kick it off. The first time with the blink wheel, and now when Newbee are behind and need to come into a big fight, it gets scanned, EG back off. I think that, yeah, this company is that they've kind of scared EG away so they can get into Roshan, as the ages, give themselves a bit of a leg up. And indeed, as you said, yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the dark.
They're hanging around Samir, very much on the front line of this. Will leap away. At the same time, got 3 members of EG up towards the north. Outside, so the demonic Clergy needs a bit of backup. We'll see where it comes from. Universe drops the chrono, but their Shadow Demon disruption is not a great chrono. And CG, after they've already lost some. They may lose more. Crit going to take a full eclipse to the face. And SC looking for the chase down onto Snail. Tornado. Oh, it's only a little one. It's only a baby. And that will not be enough. Yeah, it's just a little bit. Yeah. Yes, still in a very good position in terms of farm, of course, yeah, top of the net worth. As you said, a big net there. Just needs a few more levels so he can have a little bit of a growth spurt to those tornadoes. He just needs a bit more time. At the moment, people with fights like that are able to slow down the pressure that you were putting on, and EG were very much putting it. Yeah, they managed to take the tier 3 down, bottom 4 buybacks. Now they'll look to move towards the tier 2 mid. We'll see if Newbee have got a bit of a better hope of holding. In fact, they maybe want to look at KP's positioning. He's coming in. We'll get the call. Only onto RTZ. He's done strike as well. Bursting down fairly low. But he didn't get two of them, so Newbee will back off. EG's still in the neighborhood. Newbee versus Chrono timing. There it is. Back off cooldown. They could go. They've got Chrono. They've got Chaotic offering. Universe has the blink reveal. If he finds an opening, it's going to be pretty major for EG. It's going to be the focus. KP's actually able to kick it off. And actually tries for a call. It's the mark. So immediate shadow in response for Sumail. They try and reorganize themselves. There's a sentry down for Newbee, so they will spot out Universe coming across into the tower. But with that whiff kind of bit of play, it looks like Newbee is back off, and they realize it's just so hard to fight outside of their base. They want to wait for the high ground defense before going all in. Yeah.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
And they really do have all the tools. And as you said, it's sort of jumped in response for Newbee. A lot of it on the positioning of Faith, making sure that he doesn't get caught out in these big AoE ults, and is able to react and save the cause with a disruption. And EG, I mean, do you think that, is there much pressure on EG to keep this tempo up? If this does go on, do they just get crushed by kind of a late game Invoke Luna? Or is it, there's not that much pressure for EG? Yeah. And this is the thing as well. You look at the net worth difference. It is only 2k in favour of G, because they're kind of putting a lot of any grouping up and going, whereas Newbee have been able to split up the map a bit. Well, indeed, RTZ being focused. Crit's going to be there, keeping him alive, saving him from the magical burst. He'll be able to walk out. As, yeah, a bit of an unfortunate use of the Laguna Blade down to Artur when Crit ordered the barrier around the Drow Ranger. And that, they'll group up. There's a mech now. On to Zai as well. KP tries a bit of a jump in. There's the only Kaka. It may be good enough, but they're looking for KP, but SC coming in with a combo. Is it going to be the golden strop? KP is going to be protected by the disruption. Now Unite moving in with the Eclipse. Mail trying to face them back. KP jumps back into it. The Luna takes down Samael. KP trying to get the call on RTZ. He's going to find it. He needs a few spins. There's one. He needs another. He does get it. Takes down RTZ. The final nuke from Crit's Purifying Flames punishes KP though. And Newbee, see if they can chase down for more. Zion Crit, the turnaround phase with defensive disrupt. They need to kill this golem because Kaka's low, Faith as well. They're incredibly low here. Not quite low enough for Crit to burst down. They're out of mana, so Crit and Zai will back off, but EG losing 3 there and only taking 2. They do manage to find Resurrex though, but the Resurrex still stand to act. Yeah. He did it too, yeah. That was pretty good for the, other than that, I can't remember who he got in the mid lane, but it wasn't the Shadow Gun, so there was the disruption, and yeah, as we saw one, he only catches the Lina on the side of it.
Double damage!
I do like this from Zai as well, that the kind of the Midas into Greaves, because you know they're definitely trying to put all eggs in the basket, pushing and going now, and having a Greaves could help turn around those engagements. I see Kaka and Nine are going to be spotted out down on the bottom lane. Arteezy trying to chase forward, but you know, they're already picking out. They're going to be fine. They're going to be safe. There's Newbee now catching up forward, 5 to 8. I'm not sure with the defense of that. Yeah, it's pretty much just flatlining this difference around the 2K. So pretty much nothing at all at this stage of the game. So you've got a lot more careful with these high ground attempts, and a lot of weight on Universe to hit those chronos that, as of recent, he just hasn't been able to find. EG grouping up again to go. Samael has the E-Blade done as well, so the potential to burst down one of these supports on Newbee. And Arteezy, and it's going to get called straight away by KP. Crit again with quick reactions, making sure that there's no way that Newbee can follow through that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
DG just getting their position on the top line by SC. He's done a sizable bit of damage here to the tier 3, now down to half health, so they have got to be a little bit aware of the potential Invoker rat. Tornado into the MP onto Artstor. Greaves the pot. They get themselves ready to go back in. KP again with the call onto Arteezy. There's fun. There's just no kind of follow through by the looks of it from Newbee. They're very aware that Universe is in the neighborhood with a Blink Chrono at the ready, so they've got to be so careful on who they jump on the side of EG, as that Chrono's always going to be there ready to counter them. Look at this damage beating into the Crimson Guard. The disruption will save him. Universe jumps in, holding the Chrono for the time being, gets it up out. This time doesn't see the angle. Save it. It's going to be dropped onto SC. Universe falling over. The false promises there. He's dropped the Chrono. This time he manages to, but there's no follow-through damage because on backlines Unon with the BKB and the Eclipse is going absolutely ham. Universe is out of this one. The rest of EG starting to split, starting to try and get themselves desperately out of there. Zai, he'll be able to TP, but the Light Strike catches out Crit. Crit's going to go down well. Down towards the bottom though. RB turning around onto KP. And Artor will find a kill in return. It's a 2-for-1 trade favouring Newbee. And SC straight away trying to get a bit of pressure on the top lane. Knowing EG with 3 men only on the map, a little bit harder for them to hold these lanes. Top lane. And we'll find SC. That's a big kill. He did go in because yeah, Zai was tempting him. You know, as he gets Zai, but came with his life. That's not the trade that the Invoker would have wanted. It's EG still holding on to this game, 10-8. Very, very close indeed. And yeah, as you said, eyes on Roshan. EG can take it incredibly quick. I mean, even to the point where, do you think SC buys back for this, or do Newbee just have to let this one go? Yeah. He's going to buy back. He's getting himself in. Arteezy hits a good gust. I mean, forces his back the side. Yeah, indeed, look at this. The sweep around from SC coming in from the right. EG already splitting. He'll get the Tornado. Controlling Crit. See if they can take it down. Cold Snap and the Dragon Slave to bring him out of the fight. Immediate buyback from Crit. They realise that they've got by SCG. They really want to contest the Roche, get the chance to take the Aegis for themselves, but back into the pit, incredibly low. EG needs to make play. Fires onto plate, but Artor, when in return, by the call, the Laguna, Sunstrike, Drow Ranger now. And Newbee, off the back of that kill, back into the pit with no Drow Ranger. EG with limited options in terms of contesting this, and Newbee will be able to secure themselves the Aegis on FC. As at this point, EG have got to be very, very scared about what's going, and indeed SC. Eyes on Simao. Here's a bit of 9K action for your boys and girls. Calls some eye for Simao, left, right. Look it all about. As the demonic pulse will count, that's going to be enough. It's going to be fine this time. And so the save was there. Oh, crit. 10 to 10. 33 minutes in. This game's getting harder for EG. The gold graph for the first time made about sweep over to Newbee's advantage, but of course it's still so close. This is an insanely close game. At this stage, it's still 50-50 either way, or it's still in a better position there. Yeah. Another good scout from, and we'll spot out Newbee. Are indeed in the moment in the jungle, so they'll back away from that top lane. Wanting to be caught out. Some notable light pickups, Kaka. Just managed to finish off the X on the support leaner, so that's going to be, yeah, that's it's being insane. Just the involvement in these frequent kills. It's got him right up there. Yeah, with the combo. Absolutely, where's your scan now, EG? They could get caught heavily off guard by this. KP leading the way, he's found Crit, and there, no escape there. The Oracle gets out. The question is, can they find that there's anything more? The pings come through. They know that there's more in the neighborhood universe. Straight out with the TP, Simao as well, quick to escape. So they will manage to get themselves away. But 50 seconds opening now, without Crit support. Newbee could look to use this and try and go in hard on the lanes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Spoil that shot. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Absolutely. I mean, that three goes down with around Newbee having to bat an eyelid. There's just nothing that EG could do to slow that down, and as you said, the illusion spam can potentially become real. But Newbee obviously still respecting the fact that EG have that chrono into chaotic offering. They've got to be very careful about being caught out upon by. Faith has got his blink dagger though, so Shadow Demon's disruptions will be a little bit more easy to pull off for the big save if any of to get trapped in the combo of EG in this team fight. EG for the time being doing their best to keep Newbee away from it. And he just sends in a bit of a tornado combo. Sees if it's anyone, but Newbee for the time being. And looks like they'll back up and maybe look to push out the other lanes as well, as they are reaching over to their half of the map so they can try and get a bit of pressure onto EG from all sides. EG indeed. I think they realised the gig's up that smoke. They'll just look to push this bottom lane back around in terms of fight and build up side. Working towards the Ags. I saw Universe was going for that. He names himself as on the void by the looks of it, just realising how crucial it is to win the team fights to have those chronos available. And he's about 1k gold away from it, Universe. Yeah. Oh, Kafka. Oh wait, no way, no. Yeah, he literally just walked into the hitbox as well. It was right there. No. Man down on the side of B, EG. Just they feel that they're in a bit of a better position to try their fight on the high ground. RTZ.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
What's he trying? Ah, yeah. Is he going to back? Yeah, he's just going to drop the forward spirits and get back. RTZ being the focus at the moment. It hits a Gus. Foresight KP, the demonic player, onto the Drow Ranger. Now gets forced back. Now spring drops on the back, but KP gets himself in with a two-man call, and now U9 coming in with the Eclipse side, falling low. Walt the first drop here, crit in the midst of it as well. He's going to drop down. RTZ trying to hold them back. Unfade just for Artor trying to play around with the side, but KP's in. They've surrounded him in the tree line. Take down RTZ as well. Meanwhile, though, worth noting, in the mid lane, Invoker did end up going down to what looks to have been catching with the chrono, and Samael being there as well. Had a first to kill at SC, so actually not going to be mentioned there on the fight recap. So it's 3-for-1 trade. They do just hold on to the melee racks, which SC was going in hard on those racks. So yeah, quick. Oh yeah, getting those 3 kills and yeah, just moving down, he moved to the top. And Roshan is back in play. They'll have the full 5-man up on both sides, a few seconds. Newbee into the pit straight away. EG, they've got to make their way over there. The line's been drawn. And are going to attempt to get there in time. You've got no credit for 30 seconds, and that's just going to be a little too long by the looks of it. Newbee already bringing down Roche to half health. So if EG want to test, they're going to have to do this without Chrono, without Hypnotic Offering. And that in itself seems like a bit of a hard ordeal for them to go through. Absolutely not. And especially in the next one, but the fact that SC's got the Aegis, of course, and U9 got the cheese. I mean, at this point, EG themselves, I guess they just have to wait that Aegis down. I mean, is there any way that EG can try and fight once they have the Aegis and cheese Newbee? SC leading the way with the smoke from Newbee. It's going to be a scan from Newbee. They'll see that some but Zai being out. SC, he's got the lockdown on Arthur. You know, he kind of Hurricane is piking himself back to safety. Just there as well if necessary. Newbee getting themselves potentially ready to utilise this Aegis and Cheese and try and finish off what SC tried to go for earlier. This melee rack mid lane. We'll see how EG can react to this one. As Newbee going to take their time for the positioning. Oh, SC's actually coming. He gets thrown up on Universe, but KP avoids the Chronosphere. They need to kill this Invoker, but the Deathly Blast, the Chaotic Offering is dropped onto the Invoker. He goes down, taking back around 60 with a BKB fight, but Fate with the disruption, safe for KP for the time being. Now Unai kills him, but he fits up falling low. Unai hanging up against Universe. There's 2 dead on the side of EG. Samel coming and trying to clean up with the E-Blade, and he will find the kill onto Luna. He manages to force them back. They lose the melee racks. And for more. Jump forward from Universe, but his eyes on Kaka. They've got a sentry as well, so EG will find the third. Considering that the defense up against Aegis and Cheese, you know, they do lose the melee racks, but EG, they come out on top with the numbers. They really did. Gee. Coming back across the map again. I mean, EG themselves, is it best for them to wait until Roche's back up before they try for high ground, or do they just have to use any opportunity they have to try and break the base and get Universe in there with the Chronos? Well, no, I mean, the fun on some of these scores is incredibly impressive. I mean, even on the support as well, it started to step up this game. It's a male walking around pretty much 6 slotted. It's a male. It's not much than the upgrade bots. Yeah, what done of the E-Blade.
Shadow, take us.
Certainly coming back and forth in the sense of the map shot. You know, one team is a fight bad defense and so the other side that is putting the pressure. You know, Newbee kind of keeping control of the whole map, and then that one man push where you know they get the racks, lose sizable fight. ED, they're the ones that are out. Steps on the lane momentum and maybe prepare for a bit of a push down the mid lane. First, constantly hiding in the trees, hiding in the lines of the team, just in case if they do come out for a bit of a fight, bit of a skirmish, look to kick it off themselves. mean, it is very, very close in terms of where, as you said, it's just all about the execution in these fights. MKB, as you said, was being built by RTG, now complete. And going all in as well. So, no buyback. Will be there for this man if they do decide to kick off fight soon, EG. Yeah. We have Easy with the bait, potentially he's to lead the charge as EG, the rest of them smoked up on the side. We'll see if Newbee do fall for this or make any kind of attempt on our tour. EG can turn around. Newbee, the position for the defense. The full 5-man ready to go. RT's still leading the way now. Back off the smoke. And it runs out. As the EG not quite getting the attention that they wanted from Newbee at that stage. And if anything, just keeping control around the road. We'll see the respawn time out. Is it going to be decent? It's just over, just under a couple of minutes. So EG could very well wait for that and just hang on before going too hard. And to be fair, with this kind of tempo, the game that very much could be play. And nothing picked up. It's going to be the butterfly for Samael as well. So he's really getting away with himself.
Shadows take us.
Yeah.
We go unseen.
With the as they come up with a wrap around, Universe jumps in. Essie to be defensively disrupted by Faith. The Chrono will be dropped. Catches Essie will allow them to get the invoking kill. Now they look towards KP, closing in onto Zai. Zai kept alive by Chris Paul's promise to buyback from FC. Kaka at the moment kind of left on the sidelines in the pit. There's little he can offer. U9 pots the BKB hits as well as he looks to chase down RTZ backing off the Hex onto Crit. SC coming back into this fight with the buyback. Crit and RTZ are down. Zai just kind of standing in the sidelines with the upheaval. But the rest of his team starting to shatter as Samael. He's been stunned up. U9's there with the chase down as well. He'll look to try and take down Kaka with. In fact, Samael gets the kill. And he may actually be able to escape. He's going to have Blink, so Samael managing to find a bit of a trade off the back of it all. As the fight will end. And EG lose 3. Newbee do lose 3 as well. And, of course, SC did use the buyback in that fight. And so did KP. So all in all, again, good gold trade for EG. As they managed to make a sizable difference there. And we'll see the graph swing back the way of the side of Evil Geniuses. So Newbee needs to find something else from this bit of play. And it is going to be looking towards Roshan. That's what they're going to attempt. And EG was still 2 men down for 30 seconds. It should be long enough for Newbee to get this. So again, back and forth, back and forth. U9 coming fairly far out here. He doesn't actually have anyone else near him. As EG, they've potentially found themselves a free Luna. He'll put the BKB now, the back that comes across. SC manages to close the gap. Samael trying to man fight up against U9. Crit has to false promise himself as the combo from SC being dropped off the Oracle. Universe comes back in, hits the bashes, SC's down. The BA just ready for round 2. They can't afford to lose him again because his buyback is on cooldown. SC being focused. Una takes the right click. Una's going to pull loose Luna. See if they can find anything more. KP being focused by the side. EG falling low, falling fast. The chaotic offering from Zai. Dropped on SC. SC hexes up Universe. Allowing himself to get out of there. The chase continues as Samael was looking for Faith. They get out, but again, 2 down on Newbee. There's no buyback, of course, for KP. There's buyback on cooldown. U9 does have buyback available, but Universe is going to have the Chronosphere ready for this as well. EG in a good sweet spot at the moment. We'll see what Newbee can do to stop it.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
See what they can achieve here. Yeah, just cleaning out the golems. RTZ a little bit low at the moment.
Out of my way!
That's up to U9. Look at the space to take down the range rack. And just of course ticking back down to that time where KP is going to be back in the game. So EG will be range racks and back. Nothing more that they can find here for the time being.
Regeneration.
Oh, and I think Crit may have been tanking up for the stronger creeps and SC. He just drops a Sunstrike and he gets it up for freebie. Crit's got to be careful. You can't let yourself get low. Indeed, yeah, with the poker in the game. KP and Faith leading the way. Get the ward down. EG playing very safe for the moment. And with all heroes off the map on the side of Newbee, EG here, they realize something's up. In fact, well, they want to go for something themselves. They're going to smoke. All ults at the ready. And looks like they're actually going to end up avoiding each other. The line was drawn from RTZ on the top lane to push that one in. And Newbee, it's just going to be a case of both teams avoiding each other. The lane is relatively pushed in on the mid lane, so Newbee can come in on that if they want. After they see EG revealing themselves on the top lane, and well, RTZ doesn't have a TP on him, for instance. He may be just the only one. Actually, no, Crit doesn't either.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
They head to the secret shop to pick up those TPs and get back, but it's already too late for the melee racks. Top EG able to finish those off. Now eyes towards the mid lane. I'm going to look for more here. RTZ just pummeling away the damage. Pick through this tier 3. Tracker jumps forward. RTZ forced out. It's indeed EG. Nice clean objective. They get the upper hand there with that play. Oh, there's the jump in. Universe gets free in the chrono. There's the chaotic offering to follow through. Faith dropping low. He's going to be the first out. But U9 pokes the BKB. Samel as well as his BKB going on to SC. Invoked out. This team dead, but they lose Slayer. Falling low deep. But still go down. But they've lost U9 as well. KP. I don't think I'll put this on his own. It's him and Kaka left. And GG is cool, just that. Each blows the game. Universe with the chrono when it counts. The follow-throughs there from Sub, and it's